ഹലോ.
ഹലോ ഐശ്വര്യ, ഒന്ന് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണേ. ഞാൻ
ആ
ഇത് ഹോസ്റ്റ് ആക്കാനുള്ള പെർമിഷൻ തരാം. ഞാൻ
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ.
ഇതിനകത്ത് ഐശ്വര്യ ഒന്ന് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യാം.
എന്താണ്?
പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നോ നോക്കൂ.
ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോന്നാണോ?
യെസ്.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. സ്ക്രീൻ വിസിബിൾ ആണോ? ഹലോ.
യെസ്, വിസിബിൾ ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ. നമ്മൾ എത്ര നേരം വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യും? ഒരു 2 മിനിറ്റ് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ മതിയോ? അത് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാമോ?
ഒരു 2 മിനിറ്റ്, ഇതുവരെ ആരും വന്നിട്ടില്ല.
ഓക്കെ.
ഐശ്വര്യ, wait, we can wait for 2 more minutes and we can start.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. I'll just start at 4:32. All right. My screen is visible, right? Hello.
Yes, Aiswarya. Yeah,
Okay, let's start.
yeah, you can continue.
So welcome everyone. Today we are looking at medical interoperability using FHIR or FIRE, and this is the topics that I'm gonna cover today. So what is medical interoperability, and why do we need it? So interoperability allows different healthcare systems to exchange data effectively, leading to better patient care. So let's take an example. Suppose there is a patient, and he want to make an appointment make an appointment through online. So he'll pull up the whatever application or website that he is using. He'll make an appointment, and when he goes to the hospital staff might be using a different system to record everything that is going on, the patient chart and everything. And suppose the patient is advised to take a lab test, the lab laboratory might be using another system. So this kind of disparate system needs some kind of way so that they can all exchange information seamlessly, so that finally the patient can uh, see and understand all the data in his, so the lab data, the hospital data, or everything the patient should be able to see in his website or the website that he is using. So there should be some kind of common protocol they'll be using for that, for this effective kind of communication. So that is the first point that I'm talking about. Medical and interoperability gives an ability for different healthcare information system or software applications to communicate and exchange data in an effective and secure manner. So this improves the patient experience. This improves the patient care. There will be better clinical workflows there. Workflows there. There would be reduced medical errors, since the data could be compared easily. To resolve the challenges that usually comes due to data silos is when the database collection uh, is staying separately from the other system. So the data duplication that might happen, that kind of issues could be resolved if there is some kind of medical interoperability there. Also, it will also give some kind of security protocols, more privacy, etc. So that is the need for medical interoperability. So the topic is how to achieve that using FIRE. So for that we should understand what is FIRE. So the full form FIRE is fast healthcare interoperability resources. What does that mean? So FIRE is a set of protocol. So FIRE is a set of protocol that is created by HL7, so that there is some kind of standard to for this kind of communication between healthcare systems. In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscapes, there is this need for this seamless kind of data exchange. That's where Fire have an advantage. So Fire is a modern framework. Previously, the HL7 were using another kind of protocols and another kind of messaging format for this data. But Fire is much modern. It is much more user friendly, and it is built on modern web standards like JSON and XML. So there is this REST API that Fire provides for that, and the response could we can view the response in either JSON or in XML format. So it is more compatible with the modern systems. And so, what are the benefits of using Fire? For that, I'll just show an example of a Fire resource. So this is the documentation provided by Fire, and this is the a patient type of resource. So as I have already said, the resource is available in XML and JSON format. I'll just show the JSON format. Here we can see the resource type is patient, and also it will also have all the other demographic type of data the patient might have. So the name of the patient, or the telecommunication of the patient, then phone numbers, etc. of the patient, the address of the patient, what gender the patient is, the birth date, all this kind of information would be in the patient type of resource. Similarly, there are multiple kinds of resources that are available in Fire. So the benefit of Fire is it facilitates this seamless kind of exchange between different kind of disparate healthcare healthcare systems, and it also enables interoperability so that these healthcare systems can communicate seamlessly and understand each other. It provides a standardized framework so that the uh, response from one type of healthcare system and the other type of healthcare system can be are similar because there is this certain set of standard. The name field or the telecommunication field of a fire resource would come in a specific way, and it supports scalability compared to the older systems that the medical field was using. It supports scalable and flexible implementation well across various healthcare domains, and also it supports innovation so that the developers can much easily use these fire resources that they are provided, the documentation they are provided, because it is much more developer friendly. So more healthcare innovations or more healthcare applications can be made and shared between people. Okay, so fire core concepts. The one of the main concepts in fire is resources. So the patient data that I've shown you guys before is one type of resource. Similarly, there are multiple clinical resources available in fire. There would be practitioner resource, there would be observation resource. So these are the basic building blocks of fire, and they provide RESTful APIs or REST APIs, so that the REST principle we can use the REST principles to access this data or a HTTPS network, and it also supports multiple kind of searching and querying capabilities so that if we need a specific kind of information we can get it through this protocol. So what are the interoperability challenges? So the first one is data standardization and normalization. So what does it mean? So what fire gives a common framework for healthcare information. So it defines the standard data elements, the resource types, what is the relation between these data types. So this kind of standardization or common framework the fire provides. It also provides a normalization, so how the data should be structured within a resource. So there is this specific structure that will follow if we are following the fire protocol. The second point is semantic interoperability. The semantic interoperability is the ability of different systems to exchange data in a meaningful way, in a more accurate and meaningful way. So for this kind of semantic interoperability, there are also these standardized terminologies and coding system that we use. Suppose an example for that is lowing code. So if a specific lowing code for specific medical condition would be same across all systems. So that kind of coding systems are available in Fire, are used in Fire for this kind of semantic interoperability. And the third point is security and privacy concerns. Since this data is much more important, or there are certain kind of compliances that should be followed if we are accessing this kind of data. So the fire provides various mechanisms for authentication and authorization, encryption, all that kind of thing. Like a patient a, a patient cannot access other patients data, so the patient is not authorized to retrieve the data of other patients. So these kind of authorization restrictions, it gives this authentication etc. in Fire, and it also uses over 2.0 for authentication for a secure communication across HTTPS. Okay, then is the fourth point is legacy system integration. So what does that mean? So since Fire provides this interoperability, it is much seamlessly paired or uh, much seamlessly. It can much seamlessly communicate with the legacy systems. And this also is one of the advantages of using REST APIs for Fire, since that is much easier to integrate and the message passing is much easier that way. The last point is workflow and process alignment. So Fire supports this workflow and process alignment by providing resources and APIs that cover various aspects of healthcare delivery. So it provides resources for patient management, it provides resources for clinical documentation, it provides resources for care coordination, etc. Then also it also implements some government policies that might be there. Suppose the US might have a set of government policies regarding how a patient's data should be handled. So all these are taken in consideration in five. So how to overcome these challenges? So as I have already said, this data governance framework is involving establishing policies. Some of you might know about HIPAA compliance. So the HIPAA compliance is for uh, the patient details, the sensitive, how to handle the sensitive patient details so that it is not disclosed to everybody. So uh, these kind of compliances and the security and the government policies, etc., are established in Fire. Then the second point is leveraging Fire testing and validation. So Fire gives some tools for testing. There are some validation tools that are provided by the Fire so that the developers or other applications can test the specifications so that the interoperability between system could be seamless once it goes into production. So some of the tools include, there is this Fire conformance validator, there is Fire profiling tools. All these kind of tools are there for the to help the developers to validate validate and test these resources. Then the other point is enhancing security and access control measures. So as I have already said, Fire have in place this O 2.0 practices for authentication. It also safeguards information so that it implements certain level of access control. So a a practitioner can, or a physician can access a set of resources, a patient can only access a set of resources. And this kind we can also in Fire we can also define which is the scope of this uh, the scope of access to these healthcare resources. And the next point is um, promoting collaboration and industry partnership. So this is for advancement in Fire standards. Some different healthcare organizations or vendors, etc., are regularly collaborating to develop these Fire specifications, implementation guides, best practices, so that there is a much more robust ecosystem for Fire. And this kind of industry partnership facilitate the sharing of resources, expertise, use cases, so that more interoperable solutions are developed and more innovations could be done in this field. And the third point is continuous monitoring and improvement of Fire implementation. This basically means that there is this continuing level of improvement ongoing in Fire. So as of now, there are multiple versions of Fire that is already there. There was STU2 version, there is DSTU2 version, there is R3 version, R4 version, there is R5 version of Fire. So the latest is all this is the R versions. So this kind of continuous versioning of this versioning of Fire is already going. So it is not a stagnant system. They are continuously making modifications, making it better, adding more functionality, adding more improvements. Uh, so the organization should establish a process to monitor this kind of fire implementations, and they are also continuously monitoring to address the issues related to performance, etc. So in conclusion, fire enables this kind of interoperability and data exchange in healthcare. So fire it holds an immense promise for transforming healthcare delivery and improving patient care. So by using this fire, we can create an ecosystem of healthcare system that can communicate seamlessly, so that the patient and other healthcare and the people that are continuously interacting with the healthcare data could benefit from it. Uh, and this fire interoperability benefit includes in making a standardization across all these healthcare systems, the more stability, and it invites more innovation into the field. So that is the one of the main advantages of medical interoperability. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hello.
Aiswarya,
Mm,
even
yes.
okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Even if you develop a system with this fire
Mm-hmm.
architecture, but
Mm-hmm.
we need to implement a gateway so that so sharing this data to
Sharing this data to.
another. Uh, if you want to share our medical data to another service, we need to develop a gateway for exchanging this data, right?
So what happens is that usually in US and all this data is in this kind of uh, vendor systems. So we usually use these protocols to get that data from these already existing systems, and then we'll get. And for that, there is this set of authentications that is happening. And then after fetching the data, even if we are sharing it to other systems too, then we'll have to make sure that we are following this compliance, that HIPAA compliance or whatever there is, all this security level of things we have to take care of. Is that what you're asking?
Uh, no, my question is that uh, if for a me- if there a set of medical record of a patient is existed in an hospital, okay,
Okay.
so in that hospital they may follow this architecture and they store this data in their DB or something in their cloud database or something in a DB.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how to then if they want to share this data with this patient's data to another
Mm-hmm.
system or any other system,
Mm-hmm.
this hospital must provide a gateway to gateway or a REST API or something like that to share this data, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So during that sharing, this
Mm-hmm.
fire architecture should be implemented, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So my question is that even
Mm-hmm.
even in a hospital they must follow this they must implement this fire architecture to in a means what should I they must create a fire gateway or something like to share this data. Means അവർക്കൊരു ഡേറ്റ പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഗേറ്റ് വേ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലല്ലേ നമുക്കത് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ.
അതായത് ഇതെങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ യൂഷ്വലി ഡയറക്റ്റ് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിലേക്കായിരിക്കില്ല നമ്മുടെ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻസ് വരുന്നത്. പകരം അതായത് ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ സിസ്റ്റത്തിലേക്കായിരിക്കില്ല. ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിന് ഏതേലും ഒരു വെണ്ടർ അക്കൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ടാവും. അതൊരു DHR സിസ്റ്റം ഉണ്ടാവും.
Oh,
ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് ഹെൽത്ത് സിസ്റ്റം ഉള്ള സിസ്റ്റം ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ അത് മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ ഉണ്ട്. സർണർ എപ്പിക് എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ കുറേ ഉണ്ട്. അതിൽ ഏതേലും ഒന്നായിട്ട് അഫിലിയേറ്റഡ് ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ
okay, clear
അവര്
ആണ്. Oh,
അവരത് ഇംപ്ലിമെന്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ അവരിൽ നിന്നായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് എല്ലാം അങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് ഡാറ്റ എടുത്താൽ മതിയല്ലോ.
okay, clear ആണ്. Okay. ഈ ഇടയ്ക്കൊരു സിസ്റ്റം ഉണ്ട്. There is a system for sharing that. Okay, clear ആണ്. ഇപ്പം
ഓക്കെ. Any other questions? വേറെ ഒന്നുമില്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് വൈൻഡ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം.
I think there is no other questions.
ഓക്കെ.
It's a good section, Aiswarya. Thank you.
താങ്ക് യു. താങ്ക് യു.